What is discussing last class? Reading runtime values completed, right? Okay, you have any questions? Any assignment given? No, right? All points completed, no? I ask you to read type conversion, typecasting. Completed? Any questions, doubts? Right. In unit number 2, as part of object-oriented programming, we discuss modifiers. I don't know how many of you remember, forgot. Okay. So tomorrow, you please read modifier chapter from Xerox Material 2, and also videos are there in YouTube videos.txt. Understand? So you have to have complete knowledge on modifiers. Then only you can understand further chapters. And I completed object-oriented programming basics. As part of this, I told object-oriented programming is a technique or a methodology using which we create real-world objects in the programming world by achieving security to object data and by achieving dynamic binding between objects. Okay. As part of object-oriented programming basics, first we are learning creating real-world object in programming world. So first we learn what is an object, and then we learn what is a class and what is an instance. Next, if you use just a class and instance, empty memory created, and we cannot represent real world object in the programming world. So for representing real world object in the programming world, this object values I must store. For storing values, we have to use variables. As part of this chapter, variable and types of variables. Okay. Then we started moving to next chapter, variable and types of variables. As part of this chapter, we realized, okay, to store value, I have to read variable. A variable can be created by using data type. The variable can be primitive variable or can be reference variable. To store mathematical value, you must create a primitive variable. To store object references, we must use referenced variable. Next, now to store object, whenever you are working with either primitive variable or reference variable, we will come across some variable terminology. So first we learn variable declaration, variable definition, variable initialization, variable reading. Okay, variable assignment and variable reading. Okay, as part of variable assignment, variable declaration, we create a new variable without value. As part of variable definition, we create a new variable with value. As part of variable initialization, we learned storing new value in a variable first time. Storing value in a variable first time. As part of variable assignment, we are writing code to modify the existing value of the variable. And then now as part of variable reading, we are reading the value available inside the variable. We are reading the value available inside variable either for printing or performing validation, checking whether the value is correct or wrong, or for performing operations. Okay, right. So these are the 5 operations we have learned, right? All of you remember? Then next we realized I should not create variable for fun. If you create variable for fun, unnecessary memory will be consumed and time will be wasted. Program execution becomes slow. So wherever you need reuse a value and object, whenever you need to reuse a value and object, then only create variable. Okay, there we understand some new syntax called new example.x. Remember? Did I explain? Did I explain or no? If not explain, I'll explain. Yemo sir, marchipayama? Amma? Let me check. We must create a variable we must not create a variable just for fun. It leads to program execution slow because variable creation consumes memory and time. We must create variable only if we need to reuse a value or an object in the next lines of code. So 10, directly display value. Storing in variable and reading takes time. Then E1 equal new example. Reading X value from this object by using variable takes time. So directly you create object and call X, then it takes less time. Not so much of less time, significant, no need to consider. But when you take a big for loop where, it is executing lakhs of time, loop, you have written one loop and where it is executing lakhs of time, then there this variable creation will save the time. Okay, na? Right. So small programs, it's okay, but big programs you have to remember. When you want to access all the members available in the object, obviously we have to store in a variable. So if you want read only one time, just create object. Here, one object is created or two objects created? Two objects. Two different objects are created and reading X and Y. Okay. Then with this we completed, what is a variable? Variable related all points we completed. Then we started understanding types of variables. As part of the types of variables topic, first you have learned where can we create variable? Can I create variable directly inside a class? No. If you try to create variable directly inside the class, compiler throw error. Because variable is meant for storing value of an object or value of an operation. To store value of an object, we have to create variables inside the class. To store values of an operation, we must create variables inside the method. Based on this point, we come across, okay, there are two types of variables are there. What are the two types of variables? Based on data type, two types of variables, primitive and reference. Based on the place, we declare two types, class level, method level. Only my voice is audible. Rejoin. Nikhil Sharma, rejoin. Maybe your internet problem. Next. Now, class level variables are meant for storing values of the current class object. And now 4 times rejoin. Then click on leave button and take rest. What I can do, I cannot do anything. Yeah. So this is the only problem with your system. There is no problem to other students, no problem to me. Okay? There's a problem at your end. I cannot solve your problem. Na? Okay. Is it clear, buddy? There is no problem to other students. Now, I created variables inside a method. Now, these variables are meant for storing values to perform operation of this method. Then we have realized, okay, whenever we are storing values of an object, there is a chance we have same value stored for multiple objects. When I create multiple objects from this class, I need to store same value repeatedly. And sometimes I need to store different value. Based on storing common values and different values, we have something called what? Static and non-static variables. So static variable is what? A variable that is declared at a class level outside of the methods with the keyword static is called static variable. A variable that is declared inside a class outside of all methods without using static keyword is called non-static variable. Static variable will be provided one copy memory common to all objects. Non-static variable is provided separate copy memory in every object. Static variable meant for storing value common to all objects. Non-static variable meant for storing value specific to each object separately. To access static variable, because static variable is a provided memory when class is loaded into JVM, it has independent memory outside of the object. So we can access this variable directly by its name. I can access by using class name. I can access by using object. Also, I can access by using null referenced variable also. We can access static variable by using class name because it's get memory with respect to class. We can access static variable by using object because it is meant for storing value of an object, but memory is only common. Okay. Right. So is it clear, guys? Then next point we discussed what? Then here What are the different ways we can access? We can access static variable by using class name. We can also access by using object. Here I told you one point. What is the right way of accessing static variable and non-static variable? Non-static variable, obviously we have to access by using object. What the right design in the projects to access static variable? When you wanted to initialize a static variable common to all objects, or when you want to modify static variable common to all objects, then use class name. Class name dot, so that we are giving a feeling to the other programmer, this is a static variable initializing common to all objects. When you want to read value from the static variable, then try to read by using object, so that we'll get a feeling that, okay, now this is belongs to what? This object. But actually, is it belongs to this object or common? Common. But just we are giving a feeling that, okay, it is a specific to this object. And then S1.institute, S2.institute, both will go to same memory and same value narration we will get. But S1.snvo, S2.snvo will get same value? No. We will get a different value. So S1.institute, S2.institute will get same value, will access our same memory. I hope I explained memory diagram also for it. S3.institute also will go to same memory. S3.snvo, different memory. Okay. So hope you remember memory diagram. This is a student class and this is college class main method. College class main method. Then in a student class, institute variable is created with a Naresh IT. Then here we have object S1. We have S1, S2, S3. S1, S2, S3 all are pointing to same object. Next, S1 having its own non-static members memory. S2 is having its own another copy of non-static members. S3 has its own another copy of non-static members. When you write S1.snvo, S1.s2.snvo, okay, right. Yeah, sorry, S1.institute, S2.institute, S3.institute, for all three dot will go to same memory. S1.snvo is different, S2.snvo different, S3.snvo is different. Can I expect all you understand? Right. These are all points we have discussed clearly as part of static variable, non-static variable. Did I give notes? Lifetime and scope of static variable, right? Lifetime and scope of non-static variable, and after that, I think modification effect. Did I explain? Okay, I can access AB variable directly. Different ways of accessing. Program execution flow with their lifetime and scope, and different ways of accessing directly. Object only one way. Okay, if I try to access non-static variable by using null reference variable, will get null pointer exception. Empty reference variable for access will get compile time error. Remember? Okay, at least if you forgot, please try to revise these topics in tomorrow holiday, right? Then next. Static variable, non-static variable modification effect. If you try to modify static variable, that modification affected to all objects, because static variable memory common to all objects. If we modify non-static variable using one object, that modification not affected to another objects. Each object will contain separate copy memory. I think this also we completed. Then next, an object pointing to multiple reference variables. Okay, one object can pointing to multiple variables. Okay. One object can be pointed by multiple variables. If we modify this object by using E2, then the modification affected to E3 also. Have you written this program last class? This notes also? Then why this program notes not there? Check once, I dictated a test program 13. Static, non-static modification and their effect to other objects. Variables before Dasara holidays. Not explained, not given notes. Program given, notes not given. Please add 2 points. If you modify static variable by using one object, this modification is affected to all objects of this class, because all objects will point to same static variable memory. I think I have not given notes dictation because just I ask you first find output of the program. If you modify non-static variable by using one object, this modification is not affected to all objects of this class, because each object contains its own copy of its own separate copy of memory. Okay. And the next program is different program. An object pointing by multiple reference variables and modification effect. One object can be pointed by multiple reference variable. For this purpose, we must store object reference in one variable, then we must assign this variable to another variables. If this object data is modified by using one reference variable, this modification affected to all other reference variables pointing to this object. Okay. For this I written notes. For this program I didn't write. I don't know whether I wrote or not. So your wish. Check and write. చెప్తే రాయబాగానే చెప్పబోదు రాసుకుంటారు భయ్. I'll give 2 minutes time. If they're in your notes, don't write. If not there, write. So by tomorrow, requesting you all, whatever the chapters we have completed up to now, please revise complete notes. Okay, now from Monday onwards, I want you everyone be regular. So if I ask any questions from the completed chapters, you must able to reply. You must able to answer. Okay. So Dasra holidays came, Deepavali holidays came, my health issues holidays came. So much of disturbance in October. Almost 20 days we wasted. So we need to cover up. So Monday onwards, I want to see regular. All people should be in a flow. If screen is not visible, click on leave button and leave. Go and take rest. Can't do anything. There is no problem from my side. Problem is your side. Completed? I think program and diagram you have written. Diagram written, this one. Two objects pointing to same memory. I think I have given that day diagram like this. A variable with a 0 and then E1 variable memory created with object X. So 0 replaced with 10 here. With 0, 20. It contains what? 10, 10. Pointing to A memory, pointing to E1. Then E2 variable memory created, object created, X, 0, replaced with 10. This is a 20, 20, this is 20. And now reference is 20, 20, pointing to same object. E1 dot A equal to 15, 10 replaced with 15. E1 dot X equal to 16, 20 replace here, 16. Then E1 dot A, 15, E2 dot A also 15. Both will be 15. E1 dot X 16, E2 dot X still 20. So this is the memory diagram complete. What else we discussed further in this chapter? By this time we completed static, non-static variable, all points. Okay. Just quickly I wanted to revise what we discussed in static, non-static variables. And tell me first point we discussed. What is static variable and non-static variable? A variable created inside a class with a static keyword is called static variable. A variable created without static keyword is called non-static variable. Why static variable and why non-static variable? Static variable used for storing a value common to all objects. Non-static variable used for storing values specific to each object separately. Then how many memory copies for static variable and non-static variable? Static variable will have only one copy memory common to all objects, whereas non-static variables for each object separate memory copy will be there. When static variable and non-static variable gets memory, static variable gets memory when class is loaded into JVM, non-static variable get memory when object is created. Then static variable will have only one copy memory because class can load into JVM only one time. Non-static variable will contain multiple copies of memory every time a new object is created. Okay. Next question. Lifetime and scope. Lifetime and scope of static variable and non-static variable. What is the lifetime and scope of static, non-static variable? Okay, let me take here a sample project with static variable and non-static variable. We have implemented a student project, right? And then next we discussed lifetime and scope of static variable and non-static variable. Static variable get memory when class loaded, and it has memory until class is removed from JVM. We can access static variable either in the same class all methods from other classes also. Whereas non-static variable get memory when new object is created. As long as that new object is available, it has memory. Once the object is destroyed, non-static variable memory also destroyed. Non-static variable also can be accessible in all methods of current class from other class, but only by using object. Okay. Then next we discussed about different ways of accessing static variable and non-static variable. Static variable we can access 4 ways. Non-static variable we can access only 1 way. Then while accessing non-static variable, we come across null referenced variable. What is null referenced variable? A variable that contains the value null is called null reference variable. What is empty reference variable? Empty reference variable. And tell me, is empty reference variable, null reference variable are both the same? No. A variable that doesn't contain either object reference or null is called empty reference variable. Next, Are both null reference variable and empty reference variable same? No, both are different. Okay, then what are the all differences between them? Null reference variable we can access. Using null reference variable we can access static and non-static variable. By using empty reference variable we cannot access. We'll get compile time error. Next, tell me what will happen? What will happen if we access static variable and non-static variable by using null reference variable and we get a null pointer exception. Null pointer exception is a runtime error or exception. Okay, null pointer exception, null causes null pointer exception. If we access a non-static variable by using null referenced variable, we will get null pointer exception. By throwing null pointer exception, y. By throwing null pointer exception, JVM telling us no object is pointing by this variable. Non-static variables we can access only by using from the object only. If the variable is not pointing to any object, then we cannot access any member. Then we'll get what? Null pointer exception. So when we'll get null pointer exception, if we access a non-static variable or non-static method by using null referenced variable, we will get null pointer exception. Why we will get null pointer exception? Because this variable is not pointing to any object. Hence, non-static variable doesn't contain memory with respect to this variable. So to inform that point to JVM throw a null pointer exception. The next modification effect of static variable and non-static variable across multiple objects. If we modify static variable by using one object, that modification affected to all objects of current class because it is pointing by all object common memory. If you modify object by using null, by using one object, that modification not affected to another object because every object contains separate copy of memory. Can an object point by? Can an object pointing by multiple referenced variables? Yes. How? You must assign same reference to all variables. Okay. Then if you modify object, okay, object modification effect. If you modify object by using one reference variable, that modification affected to all other reference variables pointing to the same object. So these are the all points we have discussed. Is it clear to all? Next, 14 point. Default values. Okay. And the 15th point you need to know allowed modifiers. And the 16th point you should know alias names. Okay. All three. Okay. Let me try to apply these points in the next slides. Yeah, you all written 15th program about parameters. Did I give any notes about parameter and local variable? What is a parameter? What is local variable? Program and flow of execution you have written, but notes. What is parameter? Why parameter? What is local variable? Why local variable? Did you write? Everyone, check once. Now tell me what is a parameter? A variable that is declared in method parenthesis is called parameter. Second, why parameter? It is used for receiving input to execute method logic. Okay, how many parameters we can create in a method? A method can contain 0 to n number of parameters. Then what the rules in creating parameters? Parameter names must not be same and should not assign value to the parameters. And they must be separated by comma. Next, what is the lifetime and scope of parameter? When parameter get memory? Come on, answer. When parameter will get memory? Parameter is part of method. When you call the method, parameter will be provided memory. Okay. When we call method, parameter will be provided memory. How long the parameter will be available? Until end of the method. Until end of the method, parameter will have memory. Okay. Then next, how many times parameter, where I can access parameter? The parameter can be accessible only within the same method. That is the lifetime and scope. What is a parameter? Next, why parameter? And rules in creating parameter. And next, lifetime and scope of a parameter. A parameter can be accessible only within a same class. Same method where it has declared. Then next, tell me. Number of memory copies. Tell me, how many times parameter is allocated memory? As many times as we call method. Call one time, 2 times, 2 times, 3 times, 3 times. Right? So number of memory copies, as many times you call the method, those many times parameters memory will be allocated. Once method execution completed, parameters are destroyed. The parameters must be only primitive type or can be reference also. Parameter is a variable that is declared in the method parenthesis. The parameter type can be either primitive or can be reference. Okay, no? So it's not, don't feel that is only parameter is int. You can take what? String, you can take employee, you can take student, you can take bank account. Any type of parameter you can write here. Okay? Yeah, these are the, can we access parameter of one method in another method? Can we access parameter of one method in another method? No. Why? Because its scope is up to that method. Once that method execution completed, is destroyed. Okay, na? Right. These are the 6 questions of parameter. Same story for local variable. What is a local variable? A variable that is declared inside a method body. Inside a method body is called what? Local variable. Why local variable? Local variable is used for storing a value specific to one method operation. That value can be some fixed value or can be result of this operation expression. Okay. What the rule in creating local variable? No rule. Local variable should be created only inside the method body by using either primitive type or by using a reference type. Okay. Let me add here the third. How can we create a parameter? A parameter can be created by using either primitive type or by using reference type based on the type of the value or type of the object you want to receive. If you want to receive integer, int parameter. If you want to receive string, string parameter. If you want to receive example class object, example. If you want to receive some person class object, person, like that. Okay. Next, tell me, what is a local variable? Why local variable? And then how can we create? How can we create a local variable? A local variable we can create by using primitive data type or by using reference data type based on type of value you want to store. You want to store mathematical value int, integer, then int. If you want to store string, string. If you want to store example object, example. Then what the rules in creating local variable? There are no rules in creating local variable. Regular variable rules only we have to follow. Next, very important. What the lifetime and scope of the local variable? This is very important. I hope I explained. I don't remember whether I explained or not. When local variable get memory, just by calling method, will local variable get memory? No. Local variable get memory only when its declaration statement is executed. As long as local variable declaration statement not executed, local variable not provided memory. So what is the lifetime? Local variable gets memory when method is called and its declaration statement is executed. Why I'm stressing, one second. So lifetime local variable, where I can create local variable inside method body. Also we can create inside a one if condition. So if the if condition is false, then the line is not executed, variable memory not created. If the if condition is true, then control will go to if block, local variable memory created. How long this local variable will be available? Only until that block is completed. Once the block execution completed, a control come out. Is local variable available? No. So what if, when the local variable is destroyed? Local variable is destroyed once its enclosing block is completed or enclosing method is complete. Where you created depends on that. So did we write these points? Did I explain? Sorry. This program you have written on last class? This program I hope you written. I pass first value 5,6. Second time some 7,8. How many times memory created? 2 times. Okay. Continuation, right on. Class test 16. Look at here. I'm creating one method, static void m1. You have to identify how many variables provided memory here. Int p. Int q equal to 60. System.out.println of p q. Any compile time error? Come on. You have to tell compile time error or no compile time error based on scope of the variable. What the scope of this p variable? Entire method. What the scope of this q variable? Entire method. Okay. Now, can I access p variable? Yes. Still the p variable scope is there. Can I access q variable? Yes. Q variable scope is still there or not? Yes. Now, I am trying to write one if condition here. Still this p and q variable scope is there. If I write here in if condition here, is the p and q variable scope is gone or still there? Still there. Now, here I am writing p equal to 50. Still this p and q variable scope is there? Any compile time error? No. Compile successfully. Now I am trying to place these two lines inside if block. Any compile time error? అలా చూస్తారేంట్రో స్వామి, ఏదో చెప్పండి. ఎస్సా నోనా సంథింగ్ టెల్. If you sit silently, nothing will come to you. Is there any compile time error? No. Why? What you have to see is this p variable accessible till how long? End of the method. So I can access anywhere. Right? Q variable can be accessible until end of the method. Yes, you can access anywhere. Now here I am writing int r equal to 70. Any problem? Int r equal to 70 I am passing. Then what happened? This r variable is declared in the method scope or in the if condition scope. Then now what is the scope of r variable? Means how long you can, how much region, how much place you can access this r variable until end of if condition. Can I place here r? Yes. Any compile time error? No. Once the scope is completed, after this scope I am writing r. Is it allowed? Not allowed. Here compiler throw error. Cannot find symbol variable r because r variable scope is only within a method. Within if condition. This is error. Comment. समझ में आया? So finally, what the topic of this program? Lifetime and scope of parameter and local variable. Right. Lifetime and scope of a parameter and local variable. A parameter is provided memory when its enclosing method is called. And its memory is destroyed. If you want, you write, otherwise leave it, okay? Don't worry. So I'm not forcing you to write. And its memory is destroyed when method execution is completed. We can access parameter of a method only within its enclosing method till last line of this method. Okay. Till last line of this method. This method and its enclosing method. A parameter is provided memory every time repeatedly when its enclosing method is called and destroyed every time after its method execution is completed. బంగారం ఏం మాట్లాడుకుంటున్నారు? చెప్పా నాకు కూడా చెప్పు, మౌన పడుతుంది. Completed? Yeah, first point, last point, same. Correct. There is a spelling mistake here repeatedly. Somewhere A must be there. Where? E, na? No, next local variable. A local variable is provided memory when its method is called and its declaration statement is executed. Very, very important. Its declaration statement is executed. A local variable is provided memory every time when its method is called and its declaration statement is executed. Its memory is destroyed after either its enclosing block is completed or its enclosing method is completed. We can access a local variable only within its enclosing block or within its enclosing method based on the place we declare. Below program explains all above points. Identify how many variables are provided memory for in each method call. అర్థమైందా ఏం చెప్పాను ఇక్కడ? యు ఆల్ అండర్స్టాండ్? Completed? Ask Babu. What is the doubt? Watch println method enter questions. You will understand that question answer. Completed? Completed? In main method, call that method 2 times. M1 by passing 50 and by passing 55. Here, how many variables created? Here, how many variables created? You need to answer with memory diagram. You call M1 of 50. Then what happened? Control will go to M1 method. Inside M1 method, what happened? You please identify. And you call M1 method second time. Then what happened? Identify and tell me. Work out yourself. I'm expecting you only find out answer for this program with clear memory diagram. Right? Fast. What are you doing? Working or acting? How many variables created in this method call? Sorry? Now in M1 of 50 method call, how many variables are provided memory? 3. What are the 3? P, Q, R. In the second method call, how many variables provided memory? Only 2. What are the 2? P and Q. R will not be provided memory. So here, in the first of all, what happened when method is called? P variable memory created with value. For the past value 50. Then Q variable memory created with value 60. And then control go to if condition, returns what? True. Then go inside. R variable memory created with a 70. Then next line executed, next line executed, next line executed. Output will be displayed 50, 60, 70. Then control come out. When control come out, R variable is destroyed. Then SOPLN P, SOPLN Q will get output 50 and 60. Control come out. When control come out, what happened? These two variables also destroy. Then return to main method. So this is the flow I expected you to draw. Then when you call M1 of 55, then control is again coming to M1 method. P variable memory created with what value? 55. And then Q variable created memory with 60. If condition returns false, then directly control come here. Then output is 55, 60. When control come out, Q and R variable, P and Q variables are destroyed and only 2 variables are there. So this is the topic about lifetime and scope of parameter and local variables. Clear? If any confusions, ask. Online students? Yeah, ARC's memory take light, man. What about online students? Any questions? Okay. So this is the complete points about static, non-static variables and parameters. Local variable. Okay. Now there is a one common topic is there among all four variables. First point is default values. Okay. Before going default values. Okay. Default values of. Okay. Tell me what is the output of this program? I can say local variable rule. What is the local variable rule? Test 617. Any of you remember local variable rule? I have a method called M1. Okay. And I have another method called M2. Another method called M2. Let it be their main method at beginning to confuse you. Inside this main method, I created a variable P with value 10. Can I access that P variable inside this method? Possible? Yes. Any compile time error? No. Any runtime error? No. Why it's not executing? Class name same na? JVM saying that could not find or load main class test 17. Class name is test 17 only. What should I do when I got error, class not found exception? First we should verify class file is there or not. Yes, class file is there. But still I am getting error means what should I do? We have to verify class path. Go right click, properties, advanced system settings, environment variables, class path. In this class path, I have not, what the class path is there, C:test. So it referring to the test folder. In test folder, I don't have test 17. Where it is available in current directory. So either I should place a dot here or I should remove this class path. I removed that class path. Dot open, edit plus one more time. Now control 1 compile, control to executed. We are getting output 10. Can I access that P variable inside this method? System.out.println of P. Yes, sir? Yes, sir? Girls, yes, sir? We can access. Why? Where did you declare this P variable? Then this variable is called what? What we call this variable as? What the scope of local variable? Then how can I access outside of the method? Then why are saying yes, yes? Compiler throw error cannot find symbol variable P. Can I access in M2 method? No. Even you call M1 method also. Either you call or don't call, doesn't matter. You will get same error. So compiler first going into this method verifying each syntax is, each line is right or wrong. So what the rule on local variable? Rule number 1. We cannot access local variable of one method from other method. It leads to Compile time error, cannot find symbol. These rules are not only local variable, parameter rules also. Rule number 2. Look at here. I am creating system.out.println of. I am writing variable q. Here I am writing q variable into q semicolon. Compiler. Into q semicolon SOP in q. Is this line compiler? Where is the line compile time error? 14 or 15? 14. Okay. What the error in 14? Line number 14. What is the error? Variable 14 error. Line number 14 error. Line number 14 error. Line number 15 error. Do you have any problem in line number 14? Line number 14, no problem. We can declare variable. Now I am reading the value. So compiler throw error. What the error? Okay. First I have to solve this error. Then second error will come. What is that? Variable q might not have been initialized. So what the rule number 2? We cannot access a local variable to read its value. Okay. Without initializing. Without initializing, we cannot read local variable. It leads to compile time error. Variable might not have been initialized. Okay. Because local variables doesn't have default value. Next, rule number 3. Look at here. This error I am commenting. Next, I am writing int r equal to 30 I have written. Any problem? Here I am writing system.out.println of r. Allowed? Why? Allowed? Not allowed. Why? Compiler search for this variable in the previous line. Now what the rule number 3? We cannot access local variable before it's a declaration. It leads to compile time error. What is the compile time error? Cannot find symbol. Cannot find symbol variable r. Hope you all understand this. Okay. All different. Now I am writing test 18. Now 19. 18. I have variable p equal to 10. I want to access that p variable from main method. From main p plus p. I want to access this p variable in M1 method also. Possible or not possible? Possible or not possible? Not possible. Compiler throw error. But I want what? I want M1 method value 10 in, I want to access main method value 10 in M1 method. What to do? What to do? We must pass p variable value as argument to M1. How? M1 of p. Then to receive this p value, it should have parameter, na? Then int p. The parameter name should be p, na? Any name? Come on. Is this p accessing this p? No. Both are different. So the parameter name can be P or can be any name, but just to give a feeling that I am taking what? P. Now any compile time error? No. Any runtime error? No. Both you are getting what? P. Tell me. If I pass it as a parameter, can I access that value in another method M2? No. Okay. If you pass as an argument, we can control to which method I should pass, to which method I don't need to pass. So how can I access one method local value in another method? Directly, not possible. You must pass as what? Argument. If you pass as argument, what is the flow? First control come to main method. P variable memory created with what value? 10. Then next SOPLNP reading from here and displaying on the console 10. Next when you call M1 method, P value reading from here, passing as the argument to M1. What is going? 10. Now here in the 10, parameter P provided separate copy memory here na? Its value is what? 10. Is there any link from main method P to M1 method P? Is there any link between main method P to M1 method P? No. Both are different variables. Now SOPLN P, it is reading from here and display output what? 10. So the only commonality is what? The main method P variable and M1 method P variable contains same value, but they are not variables. Memory is same. Physically they are not same. Their value only same. Can I access the same P value in M2 method? No. It leads to compile time error. Right? Not required? Okay. Next, I want to access this P variable from both the methods. Then what should I do? Tell me. If I take as a parameter, I can access that variable only in one place, but I want to access in multiple places. So what should I do now? Come on, try to think. What should I do now? Now, if I take P variable inside a method, and if you take it passing as a parameter, I can access only in one method. But I want to access in all methods. Then you have to increase the scope. I have to increase the scope of this variable. I must declare the variable at class. Is there any error? Int P semicolon P equal to 10. Here I am right. Is there any compile time error? Yes, there is a compile time error. You will get 4 compile time errors. Why? Because P is a non-static variable. How can I access non-static variable directly by their name inside the static methods? Not possible. That's why we'll get compile time error. And then what should I do now? I should declare it as static. Static int P, compile, execute. Now from main method P10, and if you want to execute M1 method from, execute from M1, M2, you should call those methods. As long as you are not calling, they cannot execute. So all these topics will come in the future. The variables created inside a method can be accessible only within that method. If you want to access from all methods, you have to increase the scope of that variable to the class level, declare them as a static. Or you have to, pass it as an argument. If you take it at class level, all methods can access. You cannot control. If you pass as an argument, you can decide to which method to pass and which method no need to pass. Okay, then next point. Now observe. If I create this variable as non-static variable, okay, if I create variable as a non-static variable, can I access directly? No. I should create object. Test 20, it's a 20 program. Test 20, T1 equal to new test 20. Okay. Now I have to write one here. T1 dot P equal to T1 dot P equal to. Correct? Test 20. Now there is no compile time error here, but still we'll get compile time error in those two methods. Two compile time errors will come. Then what should I do? Here also I should write what? T1 dot. Here also I should write T1 dot. Correct? Think. Correct or wrong? Inside M1 method, I am accessing which variable? Right or wrong? Why? You declare T1 variable inside main method. It is available only up to. So not only primitive variable, referenced variables also will have what? Scope. Outside of this method, if you access T1 variable, compiler throw error. Cannot find symbol variable T. Cannot find symbol variable T1. Then what is the solution? You must create separate object here. Test 20. Can I take T1 here? Then that T1 and this T1 are both the same. Both are different variables. Compile. Now we got one more error for M2 method. In M2 method, commenting, and I am creating one more object, test 20, T2 equal to new test 20. Okay. Then here what I should write? T2 dot P. Control 1, compile, control 2. Look at that. Now I'm getting P value what? Here 0, here 0. Why? Why default value? Correct. New object. So this is an object which contains P value what? 10. Inside M1 method you have taken new object. In that new object P value what? 0. In this another new object P value is what? 0. Inside M1 method you store 10 inside where P of this object. Understand? Right. Can I write program like this? Static void M3 of. Can I pass test object as an argument? Test 20 T1. Can I pass as an argument? Yes. System dot out dot println of. Can I write T1 dot x? Yes. Double quotes from M3 P colon plus. And tell me, to the M3 method, are you creating new object or passing the object? Here I am calling M3 by passing what? T1. Here you are passing T1 or T1 reference. What the reference? 1010. Now the 1010 is going on storing in parameter T1. Now this parameter T1 is also pointing to the same method or same object created inside main method, and you will get output what? Control 1. What output coming now? 10. Why 10 you are getting? Because the object you are passing from main method has already 10. So hope you understand how to work with variables created inside a method, inside a class as static, inside a class as non-static. Right. So this is the story about, okay, how to pass, how to access. And now test 21. So like every day if you cooperate like this, we can complete course in just 15 to 20 days. Okay. Very good. Thank you so much. Now I'm writing something like this. Inside this class, I'm declaring one variable, static byte B1 and static short S1, static int I1. Okay, now whenever I'm asking you to, will you write notes, you say, okay, then I can continue with explanation. So that course will be completed just in 15 days. I1, then what? L1, then next static float. Static float F1, static double D1, and next static char C1, and next static boolean, okay, BO1, static string str1 or st1, whatever, our own class example, static example E1, int array, static int array IA1. Okay, Right. These are reference variables. These are primitive variables. Inside the method, I'm trying to read those variables directly by their name. Because they are static, we can access. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Control 1, compile, cannot find symbol. ST1 I should write here. Look at there. I got all values. I didn't get any compile time error. I got default values. 0, 0, 0. For integer, default value is 0. For long, default value is 0L. But L cannot see. Float default value 0.0 F. D1 default value 0.0. Char default value, it's not space. It is a null character. It is a null character. It's not null. It is a null character. Look at that. CH equal to single quote space single quote. Let's see what the variable name C1. Let's see what you'll get. You got what? False. It's not space. Okay. Then what is this? It's a null character. Null character represented by /0. Escape sequence character. Now what you got now? True. So /0 represents what? Null character. The default value of char data type is what? Null character. Null means you cannot see anything. BO false. Look at there. Either string or example or array. Default value is what? Null. Now I am trying to write local variable int I1. Then I'm writing system.out.println of I1. Will it work? No. Will it get compile time error? We will get compile time error. Variable I1 might not have been initialized. Let me take it as I2. Example E2 semicolon system.out.println of E2. Control 1 compile. We'll get compile time error. Variable E2 might not have been initialized. So what the point you understand here? Default values. So the default values of static variable there. Non-static variable there. Parameter no. Local variable no. So parameter and static variable, non-static variable, parameter, local variable doesn't have default values. You must assign the values explicitly. Default values, static variable yes, non-static variable yes, parameter and local variable no. Okay, next. So finally, what are the modifiers allowed? The topic is what? What are the modifiers allowed? Tell me, you know, right? 13 modifiers are there. Test 22, 21, 22, 22. So how many modifiers we have? 13 modifiers. What are they? Accessibility modifiers, private, default, protected, public. I'm writing shortcuts. Execution level modifier, static, final, abstract, native, transient, volatile, synchronized, strict FP, and file level modifier interface. Among these modifiers, what are allowed to class level variables, not allowed, we need to identify. I'm creating one variable int a equal to 10. Can I declare it as a private? Yes. Can I declare as a default? Yes. Can I declare it as a protected? Yes. Can I declare it as a public? Yes. Okay. Now, to the static variable, all four are allowed. Okay. Now to the non-static variable also all four are allowed. Okay. Now let me try. Now let me apply static. Static is allowed. Final allowed. Transient allowed. Volatile allowed. Okay. So these four accessibility modifiers are allowed to static variable and non-static variable. Now the next four accessibility modifier, execution level modifiers are not allowed. They're allowed to only to method. So abstract, compiler throw error, abstract modifier not allowed here. Native not allowed here. And next synchronized not allowed. Synchronized not allowed. Okay. Strict FP not allowed. Okay. These four accessibility modifiers are not allowed and not allowed. Okay. Obviously interface is not allowed. Interface is for only class. Now let me take a parameter. Okay. To the parameter and local variable. To the parameter and local variable. Only final is allowed. Other than final, anything you apply, compiler throw error. Accessibility modifiers are meant for what? Stop accessing from other classes. So parameter local variable not allowed in another methods itself. How can I think about other classes? Okay. And execution level modifiers meant for controlling the execution of them. Local variables you cannot control. They are under the control of method. So that's why all execution level modifiers also not allowed. The only allowed modifier is what? Final. It is a compulsory asking question. Remember it. Okay. Right. And the next point, alias name. Now, what the alias name? Static variable and static variable, non-static variable. Static variable is called class variable because it provided memory in class. Also, it is called field. Also, it is called property because it's storing the values of the object property. Also, it is called attribute. And next, non-static variables are called instance variable because it's providing memory inside instance. Okay. And it is also called as field. It is also called as property. It is also called as attribute. Okay. Parameter and local variable will be called as stack variable. Stack, STSEK stack. Because they provided memory inside stack memory. Stack variable and also called as auto variable. What variable? Auto variable. Auto variable. Right. So these are the total points about what you call on static, non-static and parameter local variable. Total 16 points are there. Clear? All the 16 points, I have prepared one summary for you all. Please read this one. If you open material, Xerox material 2, Xerox material 2, last page. Okay, Xerox material 2, last page, tools, view, rotate, clockwise. Okay, so here all points I mentioned: purpose, okay, now lifetime, scope, modification effect, alias name, default value, allowed, modifier. All points I have mentioned. Okay, you can read, the variables chapter will be there in your mind fully. Okay, thank you. That's all for today class. And please do revision of modifiers chapter and also do revision of up to variables chapter, everything. If you have any questions, you can ask. If no questions, you can leave. Volume 1A.